Hi, my name is Jordan Smith, and I will be presenting to you my presentation over Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. I hope you enjoy. Like I previously stated, my name is Jordan Smith, and I'm doing my presentation over Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. I titled my presentation The Golden Triangle because where the three countries meet is what they call the Golden Triangle. Here are two maps for the three countries. You can see that in one area, up north of the countries, all three touch. I will begin with my first point, education. Myanmar has encountered many troubles of its own. They were ruled by military junta from 1962 to 2011, which greatly impacted education standards. Their textbooks still to this day instill a culture of intolerance to minority groups by using only one language and by teaching negative customs of smaller ethnic groups. The kids in Myanmar have 5 years of primary school, 4 of lower secondary, and 2 of upper secondary. But the rural schools struggle still, based on the fact that rural schools usually have lower family incomes, transportation struggles, and lack of quality teachers. Today, Myanmar is in a crucial time of rebuilding. Laos. Laos has decided to become better with their education plans. They recognize that education is a fundamental right and everyone deserves to be educated. They recognize that the better education system, the better skilled the next labor force is for the future, and it overall is better for the country as a whole. Today, the government plans on improving their education system. Ways that they plan on helping is to improve access. Some villages cannot make it to their own schools, so they're trying to build schools and allow for those to all have a chance to get there. They want to improve the quality and relevance of the school so that kids and parents recognize how important education is, and they want to also improve the educational governance of their school systems to allow people to be in power on those who actually see the importance of education. Hopefully, with their intensive work together, their goals can come to pass. Thailand. In 2009, Thailand created the 15-year education program. The 15-year education program contributes to reducing income inequality all across schools. Overall, this program has greatly increased enrollment at all levels, but unfortunately, one thing holding back this education program is that teachers do not have a competitive pay. Government is paying for the schools and for the programs and for supplies, but they're still lacking quality teachers. All three countries struggle in their own ways. Myanmar is experiencing deep conflict and discrimination within their borders. And Laos is ranked as one of the poorest countries, and that creates many problems for trying to improve their school systems. Thailand has set a plan that has greatly improved their education system, but they need to continue to stay on course and to finish out their 15-year plan. My second point is economy. Myanmar is one of the poorest countries in Asia, but in recent years they have shown improvement to become one of the new frontiers of economic development. But like I stated in my previous slide, Myanmar has turbulence within its ethnic group, so unless everyone wants economic peace, they have to work together. Water, oil, and gas are 50% of their exports. In the 1980s, they were driven to bankruptcy, but because of their bankruptcy, they were able to receive a least developed country status, which offered many reliefs to them. Many countries helped and forgave portions of Myanmar's debts. But to truly increase, Myanmar needs to mobilize its resources. Laos is a lower middle income economy, but it is on track to graduate from their least developed country by next year. Laos, being a member of the United Nations, is extremely beneficial to their financial status and aid, but unfortunately, gender equality and wages are still a large challenge. In order to truly grow their economy, they need to begin to focus on absolute changes versus proportional changes. Thankfully, for rapid growth of exports, Thailand has really seen a large economic growth, but they are still vulnerable to external shocks. Thailand has a larger informal economy, which is due to being a developing country, but with new policies in place, hopefully they can increase their living wage policy. Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand are all part of the United Nations, which offer many economical relief and benefits. Being lesser developed countries also allow for them to have benefits. These countries are not only trying to develop economic growth but also education, which will work well together. In Myanmar, 90% of their air is polluted. Their air pollution comes from dust pollution, which is mainly from cars and roads. Myanmar is becoming one of the fastest growing economic development, but that comes with a heavy amount of environmental pressure. In Laos, the World Health Organization declared air pollution as the biggest environmental risk to health. Within Laos, there is a great need for research on how to lessen their air pollution. Many community practices such as trash, poor building material, and crops all contribute to the pollution in their air. In Thailand, there is an increase of urbanization which poses a challenge to the air quality management. Just a small amount of reduction in their air pollution can save over a quarter of pollution-related fatalities. Worldwide fuel crises have forced countries to develop alternative fuels. Thailand is quickly changing fuel resources while saving money, but the new fuel source pollutes the air even more. Unfortunately, all three countries share one common theme. Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand are all affected and contribute to air pollution. Hopefully, one country can figure it out and help the other three countries. Myanmar is comprised of 8 major ethnic groups: Bama, Mayana, Chin, Kachin, Kayin, Kaya, Mon, Rakhine, and Shan. But currently there is tension building between the Buddhist population and the Muslim population. Today, their political and ethnic units are considered to be, to some, as the most perplexing. In Laos, they celebrate culture through gatherings and festivals. Half of the population belongs to one ethnic group, while the other half is divided into 48 other cultures and ethnicities. In Laos, ethnic identities are produced through complex social entanglements. Thailand. In a study, small minorities in Thailand feel underrepresented, but these minorities do not feel as though the government promotes favoritism. In one university, they tested out signage with multiple language and it was received positively by the whole campus. All three of these countries, Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand, all have a large amount of ethnic groups but react differently to each other. Myanmar struggles tremendously with their multiple ethnic groups. Between two major religious cultures, Myanmar's country won't find peace till these problems are resolved. Laos and Thailand have created quality policies to ensure inclusion. While not perfect, Laos and Thailand's policies benefit many. Throughout the last decade, Myanmar has received help from South Korea. It appears as though South Korea is competing with China and Japan to ensure more political footing with Myanmar. In Laos, recent years, Laos built a dam against Vietnam's intense opposition. But even after ensuring Vietnam that they were not going to build this dam, they went ahead and worked together with a Thai developer. Today, Thailand is currently between two policies for Thailand-Burmese border. Thailand is interested in loosening its hold on those on the border, the population on the border. Although Thailand's economy has a harsh policy towards undocumented migrants. Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand have many countries surrounding them. Some countries, like Myanmar, need a lot of outside help due to Myanmar's past military ruling. A country like Thailand is requiring less and less help as Thailand's economic wealth grows. United States relations with Myanmar. Myanmar's physical location has Myanmar between two major countries, China and India, making involvement from the United States even more difficult. If the United States want to have more space in Myanmar relations, the United States should loosen their demands and be willing to adopt a more flexible strategy. United States relations with Laos. After the major Laos War, the ties with the United States were forever altered. Not only did Laos vanish from the United States' radar, because of that, Laos also lost ties with some major United States allies, including Thailand, Australia, and even more. United States relations with Thailand. The United States and Thailand have been allies since the 1800s, but ever since the Cold War, Thailand and the United States have not been as close. Now Thailand and the United States are still allies, but China and Japan are Thailand's largest external partnerships. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation on Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. I'll continue with my references.